Hey guys, I thought I'd start doing kind of a tool talk series. I just was watching some other YouTube videos and got to thinking about what are some of my favorite tools to use to strip, standard Romex wire that you would use in a residential setting. Because I have some different options here that I've tried out, some that I haven't used the way that maybe they're intended for as much. So we'll just test them out together. So I just have some 14 gauge Romex to test this out. What do we want to do first? Probably the best ones for stripping the outer cable are these Irwin auto, what do you call them? Auto strippers, and they have the crimping function, cutters and stuff. These have been around for a long time. Pretty much every brand makes these or has them manufactured for them. Milwaukee, Klein. I've seen a lot of different ones. Let's just try out some regular cutters. These are kind of an unusual pair. The Irwin that are made by NWS, made in Germany, and they have the angled grips. But these do have some of the, I would consider some of the more heavy-duty cutters compared to regular wire strippers. They're more comparable to like a heavy-duty set of lineman's pliers. Let's try them out just to flush cut these wires. Never used them on 12 gauge like this. Yeah, pretty easy. Compare them to the lineman's. These will probably be a little bit more leverage. Yeah, a little easier with those. Now you can compare those to these are the older 7-in-1 Milwaukee strippers, and they have actual bypass cutters that are very sharp. Let's compare those. Yeah, they are easier. You have less leverage, but they definitely go through copper a lot easier. But I'm already noticing that these blades are a little scarred up. Kind of an unconventional method would be to use these engineer scissors. Really, you can cut single strand, solid wires with these. A little bit tougher to go through the whole piece of Romex, but they'll do it. Let's just show you these auto wire strippers. One of the reasons I like them, I have to move this out of the way. You have to move your little stop out of the way. Kind of hard to do all this on the camera. One of the reasons I like these is that they strip the casing off the Romex without any damage to the conductors inside. Before I had these, the way I would do it is just with a fastback or a utility knife, and you go in here parallel with the wires so that it hopefully doesn't nick the outer casing, and then you just pull that back and cut it. But this is kind of a more efficient way to do that, because you're supposed to be able to, might have to straighten these out a bit to demonstrate it. You're supposed to be able to then go straight from stripping the casing off to, well, you have to adjust them. You may have to adjust the tension. Going from like 14 gauge wire like this, or Romex, yeah, it's a little harder. You have to get the tension right. Let's try it this way. Huh. See, I have it all the way down. There it goes, finally. So you can strip all three wires at the same time, your two conductors and your ground. It's pretty convenient, but you do still have to pick which do you want to do. Maybe I would save this for stripping the casing off because it's so easy, and it's idiot proof. And then this also has the added benefit. It does have cutters at the bottom right here. The trouble with those is you're overcoming that heavy spring tension every time you want to cut those. So these probably aren't the best for cutters, but they do have crimpers and different options down here at the bottom. So a pretty handy tool. Let's go ahead and cut these. Get this all set up here. Like I said, it's hard to do on the camera. I've used these Milwaukees for a couple years. The strippers on them are just great. I mean, some of the better ones I've used. Very easy. These are super sharp, but the trade-off is the cutters are not very heavy duty, and really, you know, the strippers are not very heavy duty compared to the NWS made ones in Germany. They might not be as sharp as the Milwaukee, but it feels like a harder steel, more comparable to like your linesman pliers, and the cutters are a lot more heavy duty. Let's try these. Make sure I have the right notch. Yeah, it's just as easy. So one of the reasons that I kind of have picked this as like my overall tool is for those reasons. It has heavy duty cutters. It has a notch here for basically 14 gauge and 12 gauge, or sorry, 12 gauge and 14 gauge Romex. Sorry, this is 12 gauge. It does actually have a little crimper section there. I do like the needle nose pliers, and I don't find myself using the, I don't know what you would call these, the bolt grippers here on this side because I'm right-handed and they're on the wrong side, but it's positioned better for wire stripping and cutting and things like that for me personally because I'm right-handed. But I know they make some versions, maybe not the needle nose, of these angle pliers where it's reversed. I saw that on Doc's channel, Last Best Tool. Saw some comparisons. So, you know, some guys just use their linemans. I never really got in the habit of that. Probably should strip these better. I use the Irwins because they're so satisfying. You just have to kind of make sure your wire's straightened out for this. It's just so easy. Sorry I didn't get it in the camera very well. A lot of the older generation maybe are used to just using your lineman's pliers. They'll go around and you're basically scoring the outer casing on your conductors. Then you pull it right off, you know, and they'll even do it the same way for the Romex. That's great. I never really learned to do that. You know, maybe in a pinch I could, but not my favorite. Some guys that really want to be minimal, they'll use their utility knife because you have a rope cutting / wire stripping blade. You know, kind of similar to how you would strip wires with a multi-tool. You do have to be careful though. This is one of the methods where you have to go around. Then you have to grab it with your thumb, hoping you have thumbnails to be able to pull that off. And here's another kind of non-traditional method. If you have a pair of these basically multi-tool scissors, I didn't realize this. I don't know if they show this on the box, but this cutout portion here is actually intended for you to be able to stick a wire through here, clamp down on it, twist. Maybe I didn't get enough. Go one more time. Never done this with these. Yeah, and you can strip your wire. Now, it did score it very lightly. Not enough to bother me, but some people it would bother. But yeah, there's another option. One of the reasons I like these multi-tool scissors is you can use them for so many different things, including having the hard wire cutter here in the back. Pretty useful. Now, I did just notice from cutting that Romex, I did scar the blades up just ever slightly, but it doesn't affect how they are used. It's right there at the serrated portion anyway, so that was definitely too heavy of a task. I think on my video review of these, I cut some thinner wire with those. But yeah, let me know in the comments, what's your favorite way to strip wires? Do you like being minimal? You know, maybe just having a multi-tool pair of strippers in your bag, just using a utility knife. That's how a lot of people got by for a long time. Or do you like having a dedicated tool for each aspect of the job? I go both ways sometimes. You know, in my electrical bag, I have, you know, at minimum these tools plus a pair of linemen's. I have the Milwaukee linemen's. But I don't necessarily want to have to grab that every time. And that's where these fall into. And I end up using them a lot because they're really versatile. They're more of a multifunctional tool. And that's why I even put their little non-contact voltage tester on here. Pretty convenient just to have it on the tool. And just have a one tool option basically. But yeah, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys and see what your thoughts are. Catch you on the next video.